Welcome back. It's good to be talking to you again. Today, for my throwback finish, I have this. This was one of the very first pieces where I was interested in doing design work, where I took different elements and put them together in a pleasing fashion. Now, the history of it is that at the time, my mother was a sales director with Mary Kay, and the bee is special to them as an emblem. And so I did this up for her. No bees, no money, no honey, no work, no money. I don't know where the beehive or the bees or that bee letter came from. I'm sure I got those patterns passed on long ago. They might have come with these cute little bee beads at some point in the past. What I do know is where some of the other alphabets came from, because I still have that book tucked away in my stash. They came from here, because this is the honey, this is the work, and this is the money, though obviously in a different color scheme. It was fun and challenging. I did it back in 2001. She got it framed professionally, and when she retired and downsized, she gave it to me, and now it lives in my office. What I've been working on is not a lot. Well, it's all been in one spot, I should say, because it's all been one new start, just a little bit, and on my Breathe Dutch Embroidery Motif Sampler. So, turns out that a 14-inch by 18-inch stretch of stitching, which I should have known is quite large, is larger than I thought it was, because it just kind of keeps going and going and going. Because after I did the top word, I wanted to set my boundaries, and I did the bottom, and I have that alphabet. Because, it's a sampler, it should have an alphabet. And while in most of the Dutch samplers, it's at the top. In this case, it seemed appropriate to put it at the bottom, put it in the darker, kind of earthy red color. I did, however, run out of space, because I just started at the beginning and kept going. I also started adding in the letters that are in the English alphabet that are not in the Dutch alphabet. So I need to get XYZ on here somehow. Either it'll be here or it'll be here, and I haven't decided which. The part that I had so much fun with was getting my first tree done. That's so pretty. It's water lilies, silk primarily. The bulk of that leafy greenery and pinkery is cherry cordial and olive. And I've also started next to it on a single color motif that is in kelp. Yes. I had a lot of fun with that. I just kept pushing myself to finish it. And I did, obviously. There'll be a line of more little trees on the bottom, and then on this other side, starting about there, will be the ground piece of another large tree. And then the space between the trees and the Breathe will have various geometrical motifs, mostly diamonds and squares, maybe hearts, maybe the corner pieces that are in the book that will be in like blues and purples, so that you have the greenery and you have the air, and the idea of the greenery is creating the part of the air that we breathe in. So I've spent a lot of time on that. I got my fingertips kind of hurt. I haven't done that much stitching all at once in a while because I was enthusiastic. As a new start, I have started the framework for Lola Crow Cross Stitches Christmas Monster Stitch Along. except I'm not doing it as ornaments, and I'm not doing it as a 2x2 piece. I'm doing it as a bell pull. So I've got 3 circles going, starting of a 4th, and I'm probably going to keep going. I will end up with 6 or 7 circles for this bell pull. I've ordered a top piece of hanger for it, and I'll show you that when it comes in. I'm also stitching on black. I really don't like stitching on black. It's hard to see. I have to use the bright focused light on it. I have to use the reading glasses all the time. I can get away with using my normal glasses most of the time on Breathe, which is part of why I picked that base fabric actually. But I can't on the black. But I auditioned other things. I auditioned some dark green I had, some navy. I looked at some online at some of the model grays, and I just didn't find anything that I liked as much as looking at her shop and seeing the previous years on black. So I'm doing black. And I'll be buying a couple of the previous year's patterns to fill up the extra circles. So it's not going to be that bad after I get the frame done, because then there's only so far I can mess up the count. I also kitted up another one of her designs, well, 2 kind of, the Haunted Librarian and the Haunted Library. I do not yet know how to put pictures into my YouTube to show them to you, and I'm not going to find out today. You can look up her Etsy shop or her website, Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I'm very excited about these designs. I love books, and it's just a neat design. I have to pick a fabric. I have one coming that I think will be what I'll use, but if I don't like it, if I think it's too dark, or I've got some other options in my stash, we'll see. Yeah, and I don't know how to edit that out either. One of these days, if I keep doing this, I'll learn, but I have some kind of touch of ADHD, and I have a likelihood of being enthusiastic about something for a while, and then the enthusiasm does this. And so today I decided this last couple weeks, I decided to go ahead and ride the enthusiasm, make the Flosstube, see what happens, and follow up with the technical skills later. Some hobbies have stuck around. Cross stitch has been one of them. Reading has been one of them. But other hobbies have spiked quickly and then gone by the wayside. So I try not to spend too much money on them during the spike, just in case, because that's gone badly for me in the past. But speaking of books, today's book is Embroidered Textiles by Sheila Paine. This is beautiful. This is not a pattern book. This is a history and photography book. It's all kinds of different clothing and other textiles from around the world that have been embroidered. Primarily, it's different kinds of surface embroidery, but I did, as a sample, find 2 pages with cross stitch, since that's primarily what we've talked about here so far. So that spread with the jacket on the left, that's cross stitch on that fabric. And then this is a Tree of Life motif on a blouse from Tunisia. Blouse. So I thought those would be interesting to show you. Obviously, I'm not going to show more, but it is truly a beautiful book, and it's very inspiring just to look and see what people have done over the years, not to put on their walls, but to use. They would wear these, and still do in some cases, some of the places where she went to take photographs, though mostly for cultural heritage days and so forth. So that's all I've got for you today. Enjoy your stitching, and I'll come back when I have some more to show you. Goodbye.